stream, and in this video I'm playing Dreams. Dreams is a game for PS4 where you can create whatever you can dream, whether it be a game, a character, a 3D model. I'm just waking up, a painting. It's pretty much just a creation tool. But I've been really enjoying Dreams. I've been playing it a lot recently, as you may or may not know. And I have a huge series of Dreams videos. Feel free to check out the Dreams playlist on the channel. You don't have to watch the videos in any particular order. It's not like it's telling some grand story. It mainly just follows Kratos, Kaylee, and I's journey through Dreams as we become better and better at, developing games. Okay, let's see. So, real quick, I'm going to share the link to the Dream stream with my friends over at Bussy Bread Club, which is a Facebook group chat that I'm a part of. Let's see. I also haven't said good morning to everybody in the chat yet because I just woke up. So I'm going to say good morning and then I'm just going to post a link to the stream. Goodness. It's interesting to do a stream as soon as you wake up. I normally try and do something to get ready first. I use the restroom. I messaged a few people. And now I'm streaming. I do need to, at some point, of course, brush my teeth, shower, exercise, eat, stuff like that. I'll do that later, I guess. Okay, here we go. So now, for the most part, I have everything set up. Let's jump right in. So I'm now level 36. Let's look at some of these notifications. So someone followed Generic Platformer Essentials, and they also followed me. That's cool. Let's see. Someone commented on Challenge 5, and they said, reminds me of Doom with a smiley face. I'm glad that somebody liked Challenge 5, because Challenge 5 I thought was one of my weaker levels, like the first-person shooter thing I made. Oh, and he actually gave me a thumbs up on Challenge 5. I'm glad they liked it. Let's see. So JRL 101 posted some feedback on Remix of Ignis and said what was changed. As far as I can tell, it's identical. Interesting. So Remix of Ignis, I didn't know was already public because it doesn't have whatchamacallit in it. It doesn't have Robo Draco in it. I think it just has the slime one. So, I'm going to go back in to Remix of Ignis and put in Robo Draco, because that's the whole point of it, is it's supposed to have Robo Draco. Let's see, I got a thumbs up on the stationary turret enemy. I got a thumbs up on the flight patrol enemy. Let's see, someone shared their My Creations with me. Kratos followed Robo Draco. And I think everything else I've already seen. So, the only notification I got that I was like, ooh, is the, like, ooh, and I'm like, oh, I didn't like that way, was when someone saw the Remix of Ignis and said that it just looked the same as the other thing. I guess I didn't know Remix of Ignis was already public, or at least already, like, visible. Because it doesn't have the Robo Draco guy in it. Oh, wait a minute. Well, hold on. It's fine to not have that action recorder. So let's go in and let's pop Robo Draco in here. I mean, really, this doesn't need to exist. Like the Remix of Ignis thing, because Robo Draco already exists. But I guess I'll pop him in here. It doesn't really matter too much. But this is supposed to be the thing that's changed. Also, the slime one isn't identical. I'm actually really surprised that he said it was identical. So this is the real Remix of Ignis, not the slime thing. Yeah, save version. At least online is public. I guess Remix of Ignis was public. I made a whole bunch of remixes to it. Okay. So let's exit out. What was I thinking about? I want to create more interesting games and come up with more cool ideas. For the Draco test levels, what's the scoreboard looking like? Okay, so we have one guy who did it in 28 seconds, another person who did it in a minute. So those are times. Let's look at score. So I still have the highest score on it. Okay. I don't think there's been a lot of hype for this one. Yeah, it has 0 thumbs up. So people have played it. People I don't think have liked it so far. Let's see. This one also has 0 thumbs up. This one also has 0 thumbs up. Yeah. I don't think people have really been fucking with Robo Draco. I need to learn how to make a Robo Draco level that people actually like. I also think I could do some cool stuff with the Red Robbie superhero bomb juggling player character or whatever. When you hit view, you can easily see him. When you hit edit, he appears right in the middle. What throws me about this is when I tried to use it in a level later on, it was hard to actually find him. So I didn't know what was going on with that. I need maybe to work on another first-person shooter, I guess, because the one that I worked on before wasn't very good. And maybe I'll try to make a first-person shooter based on verticality more. So the idea is that you're trying to go up and up and up and up and up. So I can do that. Let's go to Dreamiverse, Quick Start Collection. We're going to grab the first-person character, pop him in. We're going to scope into him, open up his puppet logic, and there's a switch for activating the weapon. There we go. So now he should be ready to go for actually doing some first-person shooting. Let's go in and give him some platforms that he can jump onto. So I'll probably go to My Creations. And let's look up some stone pillar platforms that move. I probably need to look at my collection called Generic Platforming Essentials. Oh, that's right there. Let's see. I know what I might do. So I might do like a bounce pad based thing rather than having the platforms actually move. And you use the bounce pads in order to get from platform to platform. So it's going to have some first person platforming. I'm still scoped into the guy. I need to be careful. So let me scope out of the guy real quick. I feel like I mess up stuff like that a lot. Okay. And now let's start summoning the platforms. Let's see, wall, corner path, horizontal. Here is just the normal stone platform. Okay, so we're gonna lift it up a little bit because it's going to use bounce pads to trail into it. Lift that one up, and use bounce pads to trail into it. Lift this one up, we're gonna use bounce pads to trail into it. We're going to lift this one up, we're going to use bounce pads to trail into it. Okay, so far, we have like a simple pattern that we're going for like going up. And I'll probably place this one here, I guess, for the end. I don't think it's playable right now without bounce pads. Also, I like to add race starts and finishes to things. So let's create a race start and place it right under his feet. So let's pop that in, group in, grab that, remove it from the group. And then we're going to set it under his feet. lift him up a little bit. Let's delete the floor. We don't need that. Okay, and then we're going to take the finish line and place it right here. There we go. And we're going to rotate it a little bit if I can grab it properly. There we go. Lift it up. I don't know what that sound is. It's like something hitting the balcony. Is what I think it is. Okay. Yeah. That's just weird. Cool. So now the finish line has a little platform base. And I can extend that a little bit more. I think I like creating levels that are based on vertical movement rather than like side scrollers. I've noticed that's been like a pattern in a lot of my work that I've actually enjoyed. So I should probably start doing stuff like that more. Okay. Cool. So now I need to move this a little bit because it's a little too close to the starting line. And maybe move it down a little bit. Okay, cool. And now I can probably use a combination of like bounce pads and fans in order to guide the player to their destination. So let's have a couple bounce pads here to help you get up there. Then we'll have a couple bounce pads here to help you get up there. Then we'll have a couple bounce pads here to help you get right there. Let's see. I'm thinking about doing fans for the next part instead of bounce pads. So you have a fan right here that leads to a fan right here that leads to a fan right here that leads to a gap between the fans, just a little bit of a gap. And then I'll slap a bounce pad right here where you could hop onto that. Then we're gonna go bounce pad, slightly to the left bounce pad for you to get there. And then to get up here, I'm thinking maybe stairs, actually. So just straight up a stairway to the end. So that seems playable to me. I think someone should be able to maneuver their way through all that. So now, what we have to do is we have to put appropriate obstacles in each of these locations. So, at this jump right here, we're going to have an enemy that actually jumps and attacks multiple areas. So let's go out of that. I still don't know what that is, that like metal sound. I don't know what would be hitting the balcony. Okay, jumping turret, paste. So the jumping turret, if you don't deal with him, would be shooting blast in this area, and he would shoot here, and then jump a little bit, and like shoot there, and then triple jump, and like shoot up here. Let's preview that, and like play mode real quick. Yeah, So see how he threatens, I think I mean, really he just shoots there twice, more or less. But you should be able to kill him. Is he respawning faster than you can kill him? Because I don't think the respawn rate is that fast. Hold on. Fuck. Let me try this in test mode, where it's easier for you to spot the character's health and everything. Scope in, scope in, scope in. Open up the puppet logic. Oh, he doesn't have his destruction programmed properly. So I've noticed this recently, that a lot of these don't have their destruction programmed the way that they should be. So let me just delete him real quick, and we'll get back to that. Let me save what I have so far. I'm just gonna quick save it. Scene, game. Let's see. Robo Draco FPS test, I guess is what I'll call this. Okay, cool. And now I will exit creation. And I guess I'm going to go to each one of the Robo Dracos that I've made and verify that the destruction logic is programmed incorrectly. I know that I had an issue with the Slime Summoner Dragon, where its possession recorder wasn't saved with it. So its destruction thing is actually programmed properly, which is good, so I don't have to change that. But I will add the possession recorder. 2, 1, go. And it's just... I mean, I probably don't have to do it that many times. I'm gonna retake that, and it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. Stop recording. And that's good. That's all you really need for him. Save version. Real quick. Before I save version, I just want to group the recorder to it. Make sure it doesn't get lost. And now, I don't want to save as a new creation. I want to save version. Save version online as public. Yes. Because I don't like having made all those enemies and then realizing, oh, I didn't like finish adding the programming, or a functionality that I thought I put in actually wasn't there. Because that sucks. So let's jump in. Okay, so let's open up the puppet logic. And all we need is just to have a destroyer right there. Okay. So we're going to add a destroyer gadget. And now it actually destroys itself when it loses all its health. I don't think there are trees that are close enough to my house to like knock on the balcony thing. That throws me every time I hear it. Because I don't think it's a tree. It's just something's hitting the metal balcony. Okay, so let's see. Save version. Release as public. Yeah. So right now I'm just trying to take all those Robo Dracos I made before and just make them actually work the way that I wanted them to work initially. So now I'm going to exit out here. Maybe I need to go in and update. Like maybe there are updated versions of all these things already, and I just haven't thrown them in here. We're about to see. So let me scope into him. And yeah, they all need their like destroyer thing fixed. I apologize to anyone who's like tried to use all these things already. This is a very basic functionality thing for me to have somehow like not put in. Let's see. Save version online is public. So I'll probably edit all these and then I'll go back in to the collection and then see if I need to update the collection with all the new versions or if it already updates itself. I don't know. But I kind of feel surprised that this hasn't come up earlier, this issue. Let's see. Gadgets, destroyer. Scoot that up. Save as public. So right now we're just doing a lot of like rinse and repeat. Trying to make sure that all these enemies are completed the way that they should be. Let's see. Rotating turret. I don't think we've edited him yet. We just edited him. Never mind. Exit. So now we have the enemy no actions. Let's edit that one. Okay. So let me delete that. Add a destroyer. So now it's destroyed. And let's save. Save online, release as public. Yes. Awesome. So now let's exit creation, back out. And I think that's all of those enemies. So let me hit edit collection. Yeah, and it's like, do you want to update all those things you just changed? Yes, accept all updates. Source control. Okay, so now everything is updated. People who have already used that collection, I apologize for the flawed Robo Dracos. They now are all improved and set to work properly now. So that's good. So now let's go back in and look at Robo Draco FPS test. Okay. And I realized that this platform was a little too low. Oops, I sure did clone that. So I think this platform would be more effective if it was just higher. That way it actually does threaten the player in multiple locations. I mean, it may be even better if it's like all the way over here. Because it would be nice if when you're like going through here, it's shooting fireballs at you, but when you're over here, the fireballs are still hitting you, and when you're over there, the fireballs are still hitting you. So one enemy, if you don't do anything to it, can antagonize you throughout like the whole thing. So that's what I want to see. Okay. And now, I'll just hit the play button and look at the attack pattern. Oh, wow. He can hit you from your starting point? Is that what happened? It looked like one of the, oh no, it just bounced off of the bounce pad. I thought it hit in such a way where the player still gets hit. The second jump, I honestly don't think the attack goes any higher, which is really interesting. You think it would. It's interesting that it can hit that bounce pad specifically. That means that that bounce pad is definitely in fire range. Which is kind of what you want, but I don't think it's exactly what I want. Let's see. A lot of times you have to think about like fairness with stuff. So I'm trying to make it challenging without being seemingly unfair. So now it shoots here, which is definitely at a bounce pad. Up here, which may get you while you're trying to like jump. And then up here while you're like up in the air. So it makes you have to think about your jumps more. But it is more or less just hitting one area though. Yeah. So if I was like coming up from here, I had to make this jump up here. This is like threatening. And then once I'm already up here, you know, there's a blast heading right for me. I don't think it does much more than that though. It's not like there's a third jump that you have to do right there. Like if there was a third jump, like a jump that went this way, where you were higher up, then maybe. But really, it doesn't really need to jump, I guess. Maybe jumping gives you like a period where you're free, like where you don't have to worry about it. But I don't know. I don't think the jumping turret is really adding much to that enemy in particular. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to like use those Robo Dracos. I felt like I had come up with so many like cool enemy setups, and now that I'm actually trying to use the enemies, I'm like, well, I don't really know in what situations you would want it to be like this, or that you'd want it to be like that. So, I guess in front of the finish line, it would be cool to have enemies that block the finish line, that do the stationary turret stuff. Oh, I still have it in play mode. Rewind. So I'm going to flip its orientation. And it can fire off in front of the finish. I might move the finish back a little bit. Let's see what it looks like when you hit play. Okay. So he kind of, yeah, you don't want it to hit the finish line. So it was better in its previous position. Undo the move. I think the fans can affect the direction of the fireballs, which I think is worth noting. That'll probably be something that I use in the future. Okay. So now you have to deal with that when you're trying to cross through the finish. Let me exit play mode. Rewind time. Cool. Select and drag to give it a little bit more platform space once you get up to the finish line. So he's going to be shooting from there. We could have an enemy that's shooting at you while you're like trying to do the stairs portion. That could potentially be interesting. We could have an enemy that straight up just flies across the stairs. So they get into your path. So you have this flight patrol enemy. And if we go into play mode, we can see what this will look like. Well, this is just starting time. It's not going into play mode. So he flies over. And he comes back around. So the enemies can hit each other. So I noticed those two hit each other. Yeah, so... Oh, he hit that one. I didn't realize that the flight patrol one was actually hitting the one at the finish line. So that's interesting. We'll probably want to avoid the friendly fire as much as possible between those two. So let me actually move this flight patrol one. I think this is a location where he probably would be more of a threat. As he like flies through, he essentially has access to like the whole fucking stage because of how far he travels. I mean, it's weird to say the whole stage, but once we start time, you'll see that he'll fly in, shoot and blast. So he actually will get hit by the other one at that angle, which isn't too surprising. So let me stop time, reverse, and let's lower him a little bit so that he's not getting right in the path of the other one. Lower him a little bit more. There we go. And now he's flying more directly in the player's path. So he actually antagonizes that bounce pad a lot. Oh, his attack got stuck between the platforms, and then he ran into his own attack. So that's interesting. I might want to change his flight path again. Yeah, so he doesn't just kill himself. That sucks. Okay. The enemy behaviors for the Robo-Dracos are a lot more complicated than what I normally do. So he flies through that space. It's actually pretty cool. Okay. I feel like he is antagonizing the player. Especially right here. Like this platform, he more or less is defending, but he also is shooting down to that platform. And I feel like due to his flight pattern and everything, he'll be kind of hard to deal with, considering that this is like a first-person shooter. But if you don't deal with him, he affects so much of the board. So that'll be fun. Okay. So I think because he's defending those spaces, I could probably put... I'm still trying to figure out what enemy would be really good to put near the beginning right over here. Okay, I kind of have an idea. As long as he doesn't shoot you at the starting gate, that's my biggest fear. I don't want to make anything that immediately hits the player. So I want to pop down the rotating turret. But the rotating turret needs a lot of platform in order to work. So I'll look at his big ass circle and I'll just add clones. I'm going to need more clones. Oops. It's kind of hard to get a circle of platforms to just link into each other. Or maybe it isn't. Hold on. Undo that. So what if I took this platform and I slid it all the way over here, and then I did add clones? Oh, well, it's assuming that it would directly connect instead of curve. So I want to make it curve. I can try and get a good half circle going, like what I did before. And then connect the half circles together. Or I can stop trying to be fancy and just make it by hand. Oops. I was just trying to recenter the imp. Okay, here we go. You just check the running path. Check that. So far, so good. Also, I hope everyone's having a wonderful day so far. The live chat hasn't been super active as far as I can tell. Okay, let's see. Even that up a little bit. There we go. I also need to make sure that he's able to run across these fairly uneven platforms with ease without having to fall off. Well, this is stupid. I just realized I've been using the stone platform for everything, but the easiest way to solve this problem is just to make a new platform. Just make a larger platform for him, and because he runs in a circle, just give him a large circular platform. So we know that he runs from there all the way around there. So I'm just going to go into, not sculpt mode directly, but sculpt mode from what we're trying to edit. Stretch. And then it's not large enough because of how big of a circle he runs, which is fine because instead of creating umpteen platforms, I'll just stretch it some more. Okay. So now let's look at it. Huh. So I don't even think that it's not big enough. It's just that I have it shifted to the side more than it has to be. So it still might not be big enough, actually. So let's go into tools, stretch that out like the bussy. Do 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 do. Don't know if that was significant. Doesn't look like it was. Let me scoot it over a little bit more and move his ass over a little bit. Let's look at it in play mode. I think he's gonna fall off it. He's doing this thing where he's like perched up for some reason. So I need to fix that. That's different though. That's for sure. Okay. Now let's look at it. Here we go. So now he can run as he should. I just don't think it really matches the aesthetic. So let's rewind time. And we're going to scoot both of these over to the left a little bit. And then I'm going to style the platform. That's my stomach. Okay, so we're going to go into coat mode. We're going to go to finishes. We're going to give it a rough finish. We're then going to go into colors. Give it this like darker gray. But now it's like textureless, more or less. So what we're going to do is we're going to clone it. And then with the little clones, give it a little bit of like a... Ooh, I just messed something up. Undo. Let's see. Give it a little bit of texture, I guess. My brain's like, how many times would I have to do that for it to actually make it look textured? Like to have the little depressed circles in it and shit. I'm also like, would that affect the Robo Draco's ability to run on it? How much sculpture memory does it take for like these little details that inevitably don't matter that much? I still would prefer it not just looking like a big gray ass disc. Maybe I can stylize it. Danica Floyd said, "Love your dream videos. Thank you kindly. I appreciate it. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? Do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? I'm glad that you dig them." I'll add some glow to it. It's going to really stand out and probably really grab the player's attention. So I haven't actually gone into test play this one that much. Okay. Oh fuck. I got hit by like a different enemy while I was trying to deal with him. So, fuck. Let me work my way around. I need to be careful. So I think it's him, yeah, who shot at me before. It might be easiest to shoot him when he's over there. I'm really trying to get him. Oh, I think he's dead. Yeah, I think he got gooted in part by this enemy. Oh, fuck. Okay. I took care of the other guy, so I don't have to, like, kill him again or something. Platforming when you can't see your feet is kind of a bitch. Okay. I think if you just get on the platform with him, that's the easiest way to kill that guy. Okay. Fuck. Yeah, repositioning yourself. It's not easy. Ooh. Yeah. The first person platforming is going to be a big part of the challenge for this one. Fuck. Ooh, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm not sure how to make it through here. There we go. Easier. Okay, fuck. I got on the fans and then I didn't really know how to maneuver myself. Ooh. Ooh. I bounced between the two bounce pads. I keep getting on the fan and then leaning too far to the right. Oh, goodness. Just the platforming can be difficult, let alone actually fighting the Robo Dracos. Oops. I wonder if that boss fight I did with the slimes would be much cooler as like a first-person shooter. Like, I'm curious if the Robo Dracos are better for this kind of game. Okay. I scooted back. Okay. So let's look down at our feet as we do the fans. You have to be really careful with the fans. Okay. I think I can kill that Robo Draco from here. There we go. There we go. Oh no. Oh no. I tried to like sneak it. Fuck. Okay. This is going to be interesting. I'm thinking about adding score rings. Danica said, what kind of game are you making? So I'm trying to make a first-person shooter where you fight robot dragons. Actually, hold on. You may not have to do the whole fan path. Yeah, you could probably just use that first fan to get up here. Okay. Awesome. So that's a good exploit. I like that there are like alternate take. So I could add a score ring. Norfolk said, who, is that an FPS? Yeah, so I'm currently working on an FPS. And then Norfolk said, wow. So there's a finish line, but I'm curious if I need a like post-score thing. I can put that in here. So let me, because I want to add score to it as well. So where do we find the microchips? I always get lost in the gadgets menu. Norfolk corrected to wow. By the way, Norfolk and Danica, how are your days today? I hope you're both having a wonderful day so far. That you're feeling happy, relaxed, refreshed, and energized. Also, let me know if you have any questions or if you just want to say hello. Do 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 do. Okay, so let's see. So it'll activate a doorway, but I don't want it to activate the doorway immediately because I want it to post score to scoreboard. So here's what we'll do. Gameplay gear, score, and then we'll just say post score. Well, you have to have something that plugs directly into it for post score. Norfolk said, good, but sorry if I have not been so interactive for the last couple streams. I've just been bust working on school and listening to your stream. Oh, no problem at all. Interaction isn't like required, you know what I mean? I like being able to talk with you guys though, when you are available, but I totally understand if the stream is more or less like background. I definitely do stuff like that all the time, especially when I'm like working. I normally have YouTube playing in the background. Let's see. So complete post score to scoreboard. And then I want there to be a little timer for the doorway. So let's see, logic and processing, timer. Let's give it, I don't know, like half a second or something. Start timer. Maybe less than half a second. 0.2 seconds. That'll give it time to post the score to the scoreboard. And now I want to add rings here. That sound is bugging me. I'm not sure if you guys can hear it, but it sounds like somebody's like hitting the whatchamaffuckit, the balcony, like the metal balcony. I'm gonna look outside my window because I live like on the second floor, so it's not like there's people just around. Yeah, there are no trees next to my balcony or anything. There's actually like nothing next to my balcony. I have no idea what's hitting it. But I'll just suddenly hear like something knock against it, which I guess messes with me. If I was on the first floor, I don't think I would care. But because I'm on the second floor, I'm like, how could they be hitting it? What is it being hit with? Norfolk said, that is interesting. I wonder if what it could be. I'm also curious what it could be. So now, I'm going to try and shrink these down and make them horizontal. And then when you bounce through these rings. And then that's how you get your score. Yeah, I don't know what that is. And it's loud too whenever I hear it. I don't know how loud it is for you guys. Okay. I want to play test how getting these rings works before I try and clone this ring and then realize it has some like really dumb behavior that I don't like. Norfolk said, it isn't loud, but I could definitely hear it. Oh, okay. Ooh, shit. I got hit by an attack. Luckily that didn't kill me straight out. Oh goodness. Because the ring is sideways, it rotates in a really interesting way. Oh crap. I died trying to get to it. Ooh. First person platforming is a struggle. It's something that I have to get used to. Goodness, I still didn't get the ring. Because they rotate, I feel like it's going to be a lot harder. I think I got the ring that time. Let me not turn them sideways. Probably would be better if I just used the rings as they were made to be used. Like this. And then you just set them in front of the different platforms. And you just jump your body through them. That one could be a little bit farther away from there. There we go. Also, I put it in front of that platform as if you would ever face that platform from that direction. You probably would want this ring here, if anything. Norfolk said, I wonder if you made platforms bigger, if it would make it easier. While I do think if the platforms were bigger, it would make it easier, I do somewhat like the difficulty of trying to do the platforming. Mainly because I'm trying to make more levels that are time trial based. People seem to really like Thirstpocalypse. It's probably my most well received game so far. And I think people like speedrunning it. Or at the very least, I know that I like speedrunning it. I can't really speak for everybody on that. Let's see, Norfolk said, yeah, I understand if that's the vibe you're going for. Balling. Let's see, but I definitely understand where you're coming from as well. Hopefully it's not too frustrating the way that that works. Norfolk said, I enjoy those types of games. Oh, sweet. I'm glad that you vibe. Let's see. And then we're going to put a ring here. So a part of the mission will be trying to get the highest score possible. I don't know how well that ring's going to work. It's in a very interesting position. And then I'll add one more ring in front of the finish line, maybe. Now, what I'm curious about is whether or not these rings, since they're physical objects, are going to cause unforeseen consequences on enemy projectiles. I think the answer is no, because they're foreseen. Because I just mentioned that they might exist. So let's hit play. Okay. Okay. Cool. So I think you want to get up here first, and it gives you like a vantage point to shoot at all the other enemies. If I can manage to kill them. Okay, cool. There we go. I think I've gotten a lot better at this. Oh, fuck. I say as I die. Let's see. We're gonna bounce our way through. Oh, the ring actually, like, hit me. Because you're supposed to go through the rings, not collide into the rings. I may have to adjust that ring to make it a little bit more fair. Okay. Interesting. Rewind. Did this enemy die from something else happening to it? He sure did. So an energy attack bounces off this ring and hits that enemy in the face and then kills it. So you never have to face that enemy. So let me get rid of the ring that's in front of the finish. There you go. So now that's not as much of an issue. And by not as much, I mean it's, I think, a non-issue. Somebody is still getting hit by unforeseen stuff. Norfolk said, that is some Dude Perfect-esque shit. Okay, let's see. Somehow this guy's getting killed. Izanagi said, this looks gross. Yo, Izanagi, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy and any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Yeah, it happened so fast, where that enemy, like, kills itself. Rewind. I was trying to see if it's being killed by another enemy's attack, but I think it's getting killed by its own attack. Yeah, so that ring that's right in front of the platform, he'll shoot into that sometimes, and when he shoots into it, it causes his attack to ricochet back at him and hurt him. Yo, Izanaki, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy and any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? Izanagi said the simple thing is just to make the projectiles only kill the player. That's true, but friendly fire seems more realistic, to be honest. Like, if you did shoot one of your friends, just because you're homies doesn't mean your friend wouldn't die. You know what I mean? So at least in this respect, I think it makes more sense. Here we go. So now I don't think any of the enemies are killing each other. So that's good. That's always a plus. Izanagi said friendly fire is not a scenario that should even happen in these levels. Well, that's what I'm doing right now, is playtesting to make sure that the enemies can't hit each other. And then if the enemies are hitting each other somehow, I'm like adjusting accordingly. Those sudden balcony hits are just gonna keep getting me. I need to stop talking about it as much, like the balcony hits. Izanagi said just get rid of the friendly fire. Let's see. I'm thinking about adding another enemy, because right now I think this level is kind of easy. So let me add a jumping turret. Norfolk said, see, well, I agree with that, but I think in all games, regardless of if it is good, friendly fire makes games pretty funny. With that small chance it will hit the enemy. Beth said, at Izanagi, no need to be so negative on here. Yo, Beth, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you. How's your day today? Do you have any questions for your boy? Do you have any discussion topics you'd like to talk about on the stream? I mean, Izanagi's more or less just sharing his opinion. I do think he normally says more things negative than positive, but at the same time, I'm not like, boo, you know. I normally like to hear what Izanagi's gonna say, even if it is like negative, to get his feedback, because I do think he has inspired Kratos and I to do different things with some of our games. So even though it may seem negative, I do think overall it's helpful. It could probably be more helpful. Like if for every negative he said something that he liked about it, that'd be cool. But at the same time, he just may not like anything about it. So maybe he just wouldn't have an arbitrary nice thing to say. So I think this enemy would be the enemy that you'd want to take care of first. Oh, I can already see where some friendly fire bullshit's happening, because his attacks bounce off the bounce pad sometimes and then hit the rotating guy, maybe? The rotating turret? I feel like I saw that happen, and now I don't know if it actually does happen or not. Somebody definitely got hit. I think the flight patrol guy ate shit and died. So it may not need to be a jumping turret enemy. Let's see. Beth said... Wait, hold up. Where am I at? So, Norfolk said, all input is good input when developing games. I think that's true. Beth said, I understand where you're coming from, and yes, that is why I find him so negative. She said, for every negative, there is more positives. That's subjective. That's not necessarily true. Izanagi said, you don't need to design around friendly fire if you just get rid of it. Norfolk said, lol. Izanagi said, realism doesn't matter if you're trying to avoid the realistic scenario in the first place. He's like... Well, hold on. Avoid the realistic scenario. If a bunch of people are shooting, then I think it makes sense that if they're not careful, they'll hit each other. Do. Not flight patrol. I need stationary... Excuse me. Stationary turret. Let's see. Booyah. Norfolk said, I like this debate. I'm glad that you vibe, Norfolk. Let me lift him up a little bit. I see his feet clipping. Okay, Izanagi said you're designing around enemies not shooting each other in the scenario. Wait, hold up. You are designing around enemies not shooting each other, i.e. the realistic scenario. Yeah, I think that makes sense. To design them to not shoot each other. So this enemy's shooting, but to be honest, I don't think it's a threat. It just hits the platform. So it doesn't matter. If the platform was lower, like down here or something, but then that completely changes how that like stage is supposed to be played. So I wouldn't change it that drastically. I'm trying to give you a threat that you'll want to deal with immediately, because I've noticed a lot of the challenge in this game will likely be stuff like prioritizing when to fight who. I don't want him to be able to hit you from the jump. I feel like an enemy here doesn't do much. If I arrange him properly, that would directly affect your first jump probably. Right now it's bouncing off the ring, but once the ring is collected... Also, I think the flight pattern enemy died. Rewind. Play start time. Interesting. Let me get rid of this enemy. Oh wait, the flight patrol guy's fine. I don't know why I thought the flight patrol guy was a problem. Okay, so... Oh no, I still don't know. Izanagi said, just make it so they can't hurt each other, because it accomplishes the same thing without having to significantly change the design. But I think having a design that, like, makes sense with everything that's going on isn't, like, a bad thing, you know? So this is interesting placement. He's actually shooting into the ring. Now, does this and the rotating enemy friendly fire sometimes? Like, do they, like, hit each other? Let me rewind time. Hit play. Izanagi said stuff like projectiles being janky inherently make it unreasonable for those same projectiles to have realistic friendly fire. I think somebody hit somebody, but I can't tell. Your controller also shakes when something hits a bounce pad. So sometimes I'm like, did one of the enemies get hit? Well, one of the enemies sure did get hit right there. So I think the flight pattern enemy died because a projectile from the rotating turret hit this ring. So let me get rid of that ring. Rewind and play. Izanagi said, just look at the screen. There's definitely a lot going on. So, I don't know. I'm still debating whether or not I want that character added. Izanagi said, so many balls are flying everywhere at such fast speed. I don't think the speed of the attacks is that bad. Let me get rid of this ring as well. I want to make sure that the rings aren't interfering with the design. Let's see. So he flies through. See, right now the stage only has 3 enemies. But I feel like 3 enemies isn't really that much. I may be trying to do a lot with the Robo Dracos, where I could actually also try to have real hazards in, but I'm not exactly sure where I would place the hazards. So right now, I don't think this level is that bad. I think the first-person platforming is like the hardest thing. I'm gonna try to do a no-kill run. Fuck. Double fuck. Okay. Ooh, there we go. Oh, fuck. Okay. Fuck. Okay, I slipped between the fans. probably be easier to use this strat that I learned earlier. It's good for speed running, but it's not good for getting the highest score. Fuck. I jumped too many times. Okay, here we go. Fuck. I tried to cheese it from the wrong fan. You have to use the first fan. Fuck, if you want to use that strat. So I got hit. Ah, shit. Okay. That one was just a really bad jump on my part. Oh, crap. I think I bounced into a second thing. Or I might have just gotten hit. There we go. That time I ricocheted between two bounce pads. Okay, here we go. Ooh, died. Got hit. Trying to do it without shooting anything is interesting. It makes me think this level could have just been a first-person platformer, no shooter involved. And that would have also just been like an interesting challenge. Ooh. Fuck. I do think that last ring needs to be bigger, because that's not the first time that I've died trying to get through that ring. It's just so tight. Like the pussy. Okay, let's see. But whenever you do something like increase the size of a ring, you kind of have to look at play and see if that's going to affect any of the enemies and how they do their thing. Let's see. I don't think the rings will have, like that ring being bigger will have too much of an impact. Let's see. Izanagi said, and for the balls to hit enemies while also being able to bounce off geometry makes it very complex to have a design where projectiles can kill any character. And then Izanagi said, this is horrible. You can't even see where you're getting hit from. Well, I think if you're patient, you can tell the patterns for everything. This guy just runs around in circles and shoots projectiles. That time, that was interesting. It looked like it did reflect off the bigger ring. Let's rewind that. Let's get rid of that bigger ring. That ring in general was just causing more problems than necessary. So if we get rid of that ring entirely, yeah, I think it'll play a lot smoother. Okay, so this guy just runs around in circles shooting. This guy is patrolling, so he's flying like up and down across shooting. And that guy just stands there and just guards the finish line for the most part. Izanagi said, the guy on the circle isn't even on the main course. You are likely to not see him for a hot minute. Well, keep in mind, Izanagi, you start here. So you're going to jump up and see that nigga here. He's like, if anything, if you're going to see an enemy at the very start of the game, because it starts first person, so the camera angle is going to look like this. As a matter of fact, we can just start the game. I don't know why I'm trying to show it in such a weird way. So before the game even starts, you see that there are fireballs being shot, and he runs across your field of vision. He's like the first guy you'll see. That guy who flies, though, you may not notice him immediately. I think he's actually more hidden. Okay, so we're gonna do a no-kill run. I'm thinking about making a pacifist score for this level, where it can tell how many enemies you didn't kill, so that there are multiple run types. So the best pacifist score would be from not killing anybody. But the best, like, murderer score would be from killing everybody. I'm not sure if this is pacifist playable. It is! Okay, you can definitely play that without killing anybody. Let's see. So Izanagi said you start on the bottom below high. you do start at the bottom. At first I thought your message got cut off by the live chat, but then there's just no more when I look at the actual live chat screen. So there just wasn't more message. I'm going to have to end the stream soon. Izanagi said, but pacifist no damage. It'd be interesting if I recorded health as a score. I might be able to do something like that. So real quick, here's what I'll do. I think I should be able to do that, Izanagi. That seems like a real thing. So I'll make it where whenever you kill them, and it's always weird to do logic that's based off of this kind of thing, because you have to delay their destruction so that they don't immediately just die. So I'm going to have to add timers to everybody's destruction logic. So delete the cord that connects to the destroyer. Connect this cord, well, it's a wire, not a cord, to start timer. And when the timer finishes, kill the guy. Set the timer to equal like 0.2 seconds. So it'll die 0.2 seconds after you actually lower its health to 0. It doesn't die immediately. And then I need it to modify score. This is going to be in gameplay gear. Score modifier. And it's going to modify kills. Okay, so you're going to have kills. And then it's going to add 1 to the kill score. And it'll do that as soon as it dies. Cool. And now I just need to do that same thing for everybody. So let me select these two things and copy them, because I'm just going to reuse that logic over and over. I shouldn't have copied them within the group because, yeah, now they're just floating there. So let me escape the group and then copy them. Then we're gonna go over here. So I'm gonna have to end the stream in like 5 minutes, but I'm gonna start the stream back relatively soon after that. I'm going to go check the mail, exercise, shower, and eat, because I actually haven't really like started my day. I just kind of jumped directly into dreams. Okay, open up the puppet logic, then scope out, and then these things are still here. Oops, but they're not like grouped or anything. So we'll slap them onto the board. And then we'll delete this wire. Norfolk said, okay, sounds good. I'll be back for the next stream. Ballin'. I'm glad that you guys have been enjoying dreams. I know I've been doing it a lot, but I wasn't sure if it would be something that you guys actually fucked with or not. I know that I really like it. I've been super hyped into this. And also, I hope that you guys are going to vibe with the finished level. Start timer. So I think this is going to lead to a lot of replayability, this particular setup. Okay. Now let's copy the timer and copy the score modifier and scoot those over here. So I have like less than 3 minutes left before I'm going to do, so whenever I check the mail and get ready, I do a conference call with Ryan and Beth. Let's see, Norfolk said, I enjoy it for the design aspect. He says, I am also a fan of logic gates. Okay, ballin'. I'm glad that you vibe with it. If you guys like content like this, like Dreams content, I highly recommend that you check out Project Genesis. Project Genesis, he specifically plays people's games on Dreams. And that's like all he does. He plays people's games on Dreams, and he'll interview Dreams creators. So if you really like the design aspect, you might want to check out like a Dreams designer interview. I think he's only done one interview so far. He mainly just plays people's games on Dreams, but he's trying to do more interviews with creators. And they'll talk about their process and what inspired them and things like that. So I think that would be really cool. If you want to see more people who create Dreams content that I collab with, definitely check out Heart of Cards on YouTube, and check out Kaylee Creator, Creator spelled with a K, on YouTube. They also stream Dreams content, and they'll stream creating their own games and stuff like that. So their stuff is literally the same kind of content as mine. So that one I can more safely say, if you like this, you'll like that. I also highly recommend that you guys check out Sieve Gaming. Sieve Gaming is very similar to this, but think about if I made these videos after I finished a level, and then I made it as like a guide to making X type of level, but it's not Dreams, he does it in Mario Maker. So if you guys wanted to see some Mario Maker content that was similar, and talking about like game design and stuff like that, I would definitely recommend that. But I do watch a lot of stuff like this Dreams content, and it is kind of cool to make stuff similar to what you actually watch. Because I used to do a lot more of the Nickabenson vlog stuff. I don't watch vlogs though. Like, I personally have never been like a vlog person. So it was always kind of weird that I worked on vlogs, even though I don't watch vlogs. But I do watch stuff like this. And I even watch Kaylee and Kratos' stuff, because I like seeing people create, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's grab score. And then after I add this last little bit, I'm going to end the stream, and I'm going to start the little conference call. So I need to open this up and connect the complete wire to post score. Then I'm going to change it from here we go, change it from score to kills. And I guess give me like a few more moments before I end the stream. I'm not ready to end the stream just yet. I want to add pacifist as a thing. And pacifist, let's see, there are only 3 enemies. So pacifist would be 3 minus the number of kills is your pacifist score. Or like, fuck, I'm trying to see how you calculate it, because you'd think pacifist would be the number of enemies you didn't kill, would be the direct translation of that. But then that's not pacifist unless it's like 0. And pacifist would probably be like a golf score. So fuck, hold on. Pacifist is a score like kills, but it's in direct contrast to kills. So I think I know how I would do it. It would be like, fuck, I actually really don't know how to make that one work. So it would be like a base score of 3 minus kills equals pacifist score, I think. Okay. So we call it pacifist. And it's like how many enemies you didn't kill. And it says score decrease. Outputs a positive signal when the score is decreased. Well, that's not what I want to do. I want to have a score modifier for this one. Let's say pacifist starts at 3. Oh, you know, I could technically go back to all of the enemies or whatever and just make it where whenever kills goes up, it also modifies pacifist to go down. That would be fairly simple to do. So real quick, before I end the stream, let me finish off adding the pacifist stuff, which shouldn't take too long. Excuse me, let's see. So scoot this over. So we have this score modifier, but we're just going to add a second score modifier to it. Also, for all the kill score modifiers, I said +1, right? Yeah, I did. So all I have to do is say +(-1), and then change this from kills to pacifist. So now it'll be like a time trial thing, where it's like, oh, I'm trying to like get the best time, but then you also could go for, oh, I'm trying to get the highest score, but then you could also go for, I'm trying to get like the most kills, and then you can also go for, I'm trying to get the least kills, you know, stuff like that. So I think there's at least enough replayability for someone to play this game 3 times. So I think that's cool. So let me get in a little bit closer. Space this up so we have more room up here. And this is just an exact copy of the pacifist thing that I posted on the other one. Perfect. I'm going to copy that, go up here, and then we're going to make it where when it dies, decrease the pacifist score. Okay, cool. So all the scoring stuff has now been set up. You collect rings to increase your score. You get to the finish line to establish your time. You kill enemies to get kills, and you don't kill enemies to increase your pacifist score. Yeah, and pacifist won't be like golf rules then. You'd want the higher pacifist score because that shows that you didn't kill anybody. Awesome. Okay. It's weird that it's called pacifist and not like enemies remaining or whatever. But it doesn't matter. So I'm going to save what I have so far. I'm just going to quick save instead of saving to public because I still want to add like music and I want to add like a skybox. But until then, thank you all for watching. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button, favorite, comment, subscribe, and ding ding ding, ring that notification bell to be notified whenever we do these live streams. It's your friend, your boy, Jump Like the One Only, logging out. I'll probably come back to this and I'll add music to skybox, and I might do some character art for your first person character so that when you look down, you don't just look like a basic dude. You look like you actually have some features. So that'd be cool. Anyways, thank you all once again for tuning in, and I'll see you guys on the next stream. Chick the guy. Peace.